Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. So today I'm going to be breaking down US 30. This is actually my second time filming this, so you're welcome for me doing this again. Anyway, let's start on the weekly time frame like we do all the time. So basically just going ahead and looking at the fact that last week the candle closed bullish. So, and it's actually a strong bullish candle. So that tells me that there is a higher probability for price to continue to go up. And for this particular market here, this is actually the all-time high of this market, as you can see at 39,949. So this has the potential to continue going up, or there could be a correction. We just don't know. So let's go ahead and look at lower time frames. So let's go down to the daily time frame and let's reset our chart just so that way it's easier for us to see what is actually happening in the market. So when it comes to price action on the daily time frame, we see that last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it pushed up. And if you go to forexfactory.com/calendar, you'll see that for this particular month of or week, there was a lot of movement inside of the market. There were some data releases. Jerome Powell spoke. So all of that was basically just a bullish catalyst for the market, and it pushed all the way up. I was actually in the market on Monday, was traveling all these other days, so I didn't catch any of those moves. But the cool thing about the market is that things move in cycles, so there will be plenty of opportunities for me to capitalize, plenty of opportunities for you to capitalize, especially if you missed some of these moves. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing. Oh, one more thing. So everything was pushing up Monday through Thursday, and then on Friday, everything, or not everything, but things started to sell off, breaking below the previous day, so that Thursday's low, and this is looking like the start of a correction of this entire bullish move. So we don't know at this point where things are going to go, but let's go down to the H4 time frame so we can kind of get a sense of what is happening in a lot more detail. So let me scoot this over. All right, so one of the things that I'm seeing that I drew up in the previous week, so if you want to go ahead and see that, there's a video on this channel. Just type in US30 and you will find it. But basically, one of the key things here is that I noticed that there are rejections around this around this 39,275 range, mainly because there's a rejection here and then two rejections right there. And then last week, price broke up above this level. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is basically this really big push up. Actually, the move from last week started around here and it pushed all the way up. So what I believe is going to be happening this time for this week is the price is going to get corrected. So I could actually see price come into this level, and then if it goes down a little bit further, maybe down to here, then down to here, and then maybe even down here. It just really depends on the amount of volume inside of the market and what kind of news catalysts and other things that are happening that could really move this market. So one of the things that I see is basically a resistance level that it formed up here. So I'm just going to draw really thinly just because we don't want it to look like a really big range on a lower time frame. So I drew this at this resistance zone around 39,900. So I like to mark that off. At this point, I don't see anything else that really needs to be marked off. But if we go down to the 3-hour time frame, let's zoom this in a little bit. Okay, just so that way we can see all our stuff. So one thing I do see, let me zoom in a bit more just because it's getting a little tough to see. One thing I am seeing is a support that has been formed on the H3 time frame as well as a resistance. So let me go ahead and draw out this level just so that way I can have this. And I'm looking at this point kind of as a like a good intraday level, so maybe a place to take a day trade. At the end of this, we're going to talk about my game plan for this particular market for this upcoming week. So basically, it's like getting free signals from me for this particular market. You're totally welcome. And let me look at let me see. Actually, I'll do that when I go down to the lower level. So I'm looking at this because we see that price formed a support right here. We have this bearish candle and then this really strong bullish candle. And then also here we have this little resistance level that was formed. We have this bullish candle and then this really strong bearish candle. So since we have a support and a resistance pretty much in the same range, I want to go ahead and mark that off. And then let me just take a look at some of the other things that we drew in the past at these different levels just to make sure it makes sense. So at this point it does. I am noticing though this little level right here that is a kind of a support level. I'm just going to drag this out mainly because price rejected from this area 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then from here it made a really big move up, forming this really strong candle. And I want to make sure that I capture that information because it's possible that price could go down, break this level, come here, and then bounce up. We just don't know. But we want to make sure that we have those sort of things factored into our plan for this upcoming week. So let's go ahead and go down to H2. So I'm looking at this level just starting at the top actually. This level is still looking good to me. I'm just going to make it a little bit thinner just so that way my charts are a little bit cleaner. And same for this level right here. Level is still looking good, just making sure that it is thinner so that way I have really clean charts. And then the rest of this, let me see. So I didn't adjust this level, but I did create this level on that H3 time frame, and now it's looking a little bit different. And the thing that looks different here, I'm actually going to move it, is basically this support that formed right here. So we have this bearish candle with a bullish candle, and then it moved up a little bit, but then it came back to this exact same level, and then that was the start of this really big move. So as you go down in time frames, you may have to adjust your levels in order for it to make sense or look cleaner or whatever. And that's essentially what I'm doing here. So this is all looking good to me. We adjusted these levels. The rest of these levels that we created last week are still looking good. So go back and check that out. And yeah. All right, so going down to the H1 time frame. Let me zoom in a bit because now we got a lot more detail on this lower time frame and it could be a little tougher to see. So, all right. So we still got this resistance level. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections here and then price sold off, came back to retest and then consolidate and then it really sold off. So let me see. This was pre-New York. This was around New York. Not New York stock market open, but just New York session. So, okay, good. That still looks good to me. And then this level that we drew, as you can see a lot more clearly, we got this kind of resistance level, came back, created a support level, came up, came down below this level, and now we have resistance, and now we have these really big candles that are selling off. So basically, since we're down to the H1 time frame, and this is typically a time frame that I'm looking at in order to take trades from, what I would like to see is, actually, let's start at where price currently is at. So right now, price is in the middle of this zone and this zone. So what I would like to see is, I would like to see for price to come down here to this zone, consolidate a little bit, and then continue up. So I would be looking for candle closures or something like that around this area in order for me to take price back up. Because like I said at the beginning of this, I believe that this move down is basically a correction of all of this that happened last week. And if you look back in any market, you do see those moves. You see really strong you may see really strong candles that come down, and then really strong candles on the other side going up. And in this situation, really strong candles going up. And then as we're seeing actually right now, we're seeing really strong candles coming down. So basically to correct the move. And those are the types of trades that I like to take as well. All right. So that is one game plan. So I'm mostly looking for buys, especially because we had all of this bullish movement in the last week. So I'm just going to put my little arrows here. I'm looking for buys above this level. I'm also looking for buys above this level as well. So say hypothetically I get to the charts in the morning and price is trading somewhere in here or getting close to this level. What I would want to see is for price to continue up, to at least go back to the highs that it made before over to the left. So basically up to this level, to the all-time high level. And yes, price could come up here, but I'm not really thinking about that at the moment because it hasn't done that yet. Doesn't mean that it won't. But the two buy scenarios so far I'm looking at is this one and this one. And there's another buy scenario that I'm actually looking at because the fact that price created a strong support here. So I'm actually looking at buys from, say for instance, if price comes down and it shows some sort of candle formation or something like that and it's looking like it's going to go up, I'm looking for buys at this level as well. So this is what I'm looking for. So this right here for me would be kind of a no trade zone right in here, just because there's not really much range. And then if I was for some reason interested in taking sells, I would be interested in sells. Remember, we chart both sides, the upside and the downside. I would be interested in taking sells right here, mainly because price is generally in an uptrend and price has to somehow reverse or something like that in order for me to take a sell. So I would be interested in sells below this line, mainly because if we look to the left, we can see right here, price came up to this level and sold off. And then price came up to this level and sold off a little bit. I was actually in this trade and did take this sell. So I exited somewhere around here because it got below here and I thought, okay, don't want to get greedy. And so glad that I did because it did all of this and I missed this move, but this would have been an even nicer move. But basically, I'm looking to the left, it sold off. Right here, it kind of did the same thing. Although right here it formed support. Right here, it formed a resistance. So we got 1, 2, 3 times where it sold off, which is why I'm interested in taking sells below this level and probably taking it to here, mainly because in the past we see rejections here. There's a little bit of consolidation and noise happening here, but we do see this really big wick right there. We do see some rejection there, and then we also see some rejection here. So that's basically what I'm looking for that. And let me just draw my arrow because I do at times like to put these arrows on my chart just to make sure that I understand what sort of trade analysis I'm doing, and then possibly sells below here, but this wouldn't be my initial entry. I feel like if I miss this right here, then I probably just wait to see what happens in this zone. So I would already have to be in the move in order for me to want to continue to sell down here. And oh, this is another thing I was going to draw. So basically I have this no trade zone right here just because the range is really small for me, but this could be a good range if you do scalping or something, maybe some intraday trading, but I'm mostly focused on really big moves. So no trade zone, bam. Okay, so let me make this, that's right, center, and make it a little bit bigger. Perfect. All right, I think I already have one of these templates saved, but anyway, I tend to just do it new anytime. So this, for me, is a no. This is a no trade zone out throughout here for me, but like I said, depending on you and your trading plan and everything else, it could be a good zone for you to trade in. So yeah, so this is pretty much my trading plan for the upcoming week for this particular market. Just wanted to try something a little bit different, maybe just one market instead of two. I know sometimes these videos can get super long, but if you really love this content and want to see more like it, feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Comment below maybe some other markets you want to see, and perhaps it could be a future video idea for me in this channel. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.